If you ain't start your YouTube channel yet, you might want to go ahead and do it now, because it seemed like over the years they trying to make it harder and harder for you to really get a bag for real on YouTube.
Ain't never seen tears from a gangster, so why do we want me to cry?
They want your ID to watch YouTube now. Like, am I reading that right? Like, what could possibly get to the point to where we got an ID? Like, y'all really, YouTube really trying to make it harder and harder for newer creators to really get a bag on YouTube now. Like, real talk, bro. Real still. Look, if you ain't start your YouTube channel yet, you might want to go ahead and do it now, because it seemed like over the years they trying to make it harder and harder for you to really get a bag for real on YouTube, because that means a lot of videos are going to be age restricted, which is really going to limit the amount of reach that you can get. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and see what's going on. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and let's see what's cracking, yo. Let's see what's popping.
In tandem, you know, doing things lock and step. But for this internet verification, identification to make the internet safer movement, it seems like a lot of countries have been, you know, hand in hand with their efforts in order to make sure that you age verified. But why?
For everybody who's out there thinking of using VPNs, let me just say to you directly, verifying your age keeps a child safe, keeps children safe in our country. So let's just not try and find a way around. Just prove your age, make the internet safer for children, make it a better experience for everyone. That's surely what we should aspire to in this.
I'm really trying to figure out how this is even, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you though. When I was a kid, like, boy, I was outside. Like, what? Like, it's got to a point now, like, okay, yeah, everybody has a phone now. Like, even some of the younger kids now be having phones. I'm talking about like 5th grade, 4th grade, already having phones and all that. Even 3rd grade, like, real talk, like, some kids are already given a phone at that age. So it was like, yeah, I understand, but like, I mean, I feel like you as a parent should be well versed in what your child is consuming. But I mean, to each his own. You feel me? Like, it just seems like a lot, very excessive.
Yeah, he looks like he's clearly getting paid to do something like this. It started off with this one Twitter user who got banned from their own Discord server. The tweet says, "Wake up, new UK law banning 18+ content without ID verification. Banned from opening channels on my own Discord server. My server that I own. I'm tired of defending the UK. It truly is to be British." It's called the Children's Online Safety Act in the UK, and on July 5th, sites were tasked with enacting some sort of protections or barriers to not allow children to just be on the apps freely or at all. This denoted that all pornography sites in the UK had rigorous, and I mean rigorous, age checks. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, well, how does something like this even work? What do rigorous age verification methods look like? Well, in this article from The Guardian, age assurance measures for pornography providers supported by Ofcom include facial age estimation, which assesses a person's likely age through a live photo or video, checking a person's age via their credit card provider, bank or mobile phone network operator, photo ID matching, where a passport or similar ID is checked against a selfie or a digital identity wallet that contains proof of age. Is this a surveillance state? Now, I know people are probably thinking, Omar, if this is only hitting pornography sites, then why do you even care? Well, for them, it's hitting a lot of different sites. It's hitting YouTube, Discord, Spotify, even Wikipedia. They are all getting hit by this Online Safety Act in the UK, where you have to verify your age. Now, I'm not saying that the internet is damn near...
Okay, so it seems like it's just the UK. I didn't hear the US, but you know, I ain't about to get my hopes up just yet.
You're useless over there in T-land, but for the most part, a lot of these things are going to have to ask you to be constantly surveilled or constantly tracked. Your every move is going to be constantly tracked as you jump from site to site. You are going to be tasked with verifying yourself. And why I think it's scary is because, like I said before, it's not as if there's been a time where I've known in my life for every country to move lock and step like this. But on August 13th in the US, YouTube is going to be having you do some sort of ID or verification for your access to the site. And yes, that's what they...
Nah, it definitely is happening. Nah, that's wild. I really wonder how this is gonna impact a lot of viewers. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, not viewers, but like content creators. Because there's a lot of young, you know what I'm saying, young audience that's out there that's watching like some of these creators. So, sure. Most of us grew up with them though. So like, I don't know.
They'll be able to look at you and track you. And I guess you could look at the bright side of this. It's not like you're going to be like Australia, who has their under 16-year-old youth being subjected to a complete and utter stoppage of all social media. That does also include YouTube, which a lot of people don't think that YouTube is considered social media. I don't know how they can just take away the educational aspects of it too. I wonder if you're a creator in Australia who's under 16, how that affects you. That stuff seems to be ridiculous.
Landmark crackdown on social media use for children under 16 will extend to include YouTube.
The Communications Minister this morning revealing the video platform even wheeled in some familiar faces in a last-ditch attempt to sway the decision.
YouTube did send the Wiggles to try and persuade me to their position.
Did they?
They did. They sent Big Wiggle, and obviously, like my twins. Love the
you're
Wiggles.
joking, right?
YouTube is unserious.
They certainly have extreme lengths that the platform went to push back as it lobbied for a carve-out. But it has now been added to the banned list for under 16s, joining Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and Snapchat. From December, kids will no longer be able to sign up for accounts.
Now, me personally, I do agree that there needs to be some sort of safety measures for kids, you know, being online. I do think that the powers that be need to step in and protect people. I don't not agree with that premise. I do think that totally stripping people's ability to access these sites or platforms is out of pocket, and I do think creating some sort of
very out of pocket
type surveillance state where they're tracking your every move is a way cross boundary. The only reason why these platforms even got to this level is because there's been years and years of no sorts of regulations. I mean, the way that there's been slow creeps of ads and harmful ads to children through these different websites is insane. And the same thing with things like pornography or the way that they handle microtransactions. We've seen so many examples of microtransactions being run wild in court cases where kids run up parents' credit cards to buy tens of thousands of dollars in Robux, and people have no clue how that happened. Yeah, that's because you guys let the tech companies get this far. But ultimately, I don't think that the answer to that is, you know, coming down with some sort of the long arm of the law in the extent of banning people from these platforms. This seems like an overstep, like how they handled crack in the 80s. Especially when you're leaving these tech companies to create solutions in order to collect this data and prove verification. They are just going to get nasty about it. This is what Pornhub was fighting for in the US maybe a couple months ago when they started to voluntarily strip themselves from the different states that, you know, went about going and banning them. They weren't going to get creative about the solution because if left to the devices of the companies, you'd end up like YouTube is doing. YouTube's solution for interpreting how a viewer is of a certain age, over or under 18. We will use AI to interpret a variety of signals that help us to determine whether a user is over or under 18. The signals include types of videos or you.
They about to use AI too, like. Man, what has the world come to?
Searching for, the categories of videos they have watched, or the longevity of the account. When the system identifies a teen user, it will automatically apply our age-appropriate experiences and protections, including disable personalized advertising, turning on digital well-being tools, whatever that means, and adding safeguards to recommendations, including limiting repetitive views of some kinds of content. If the system incorrectly estimates a user to be under 18, they will have the option to verify that they are 18 or over, such as credit card or government ID. We will only allow users who have been inferred or verified as 18 to view age-restricted content that may be inappropriate for younger users. God forbid a man likes cartoons. I wonder how they're even going to classify what type of content is for. Now, of course, if you're watching Baby Shark, I would assume that they would assume that you're some sort of baby. But also, if I'm a parent and I have an account on YouTube and I put on Baby Shark for my kids, are they automatically going to assume now that my account is a kid account? I think that there's so many situations in which this is not thought out thoroughly that it's really just being passed over. Like, I don't know how people could be for this in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I guess now we'll really figure out if like the streamers have a kid-like audience, because if they start putting under 18 for people that watch a lot of Kai Cenat content, they're gonna be telling on themselves that YouTube believes that Kai Cenat has just a majority kid audience. And even in some extreme cases like Spotify, where they are just putting a foot in the sand saying, hey, if you do not verify that your account is 18 plus, we are going to delete your account. It should be as clear as day that there is about to be
the oppression right there for control is insane. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Sort of war between tech companies and big governmental agencies. What's basically happening is that the government wants...
I feel like there is much more important things in the world to be worried about than this. Like, you are so fixated on... Now keep in mind, I'm not saying that we should not be worried about what, you know what I'm saying, like kids should be consuming and all that, but you are more worried and focused about what I'm watching as a citizen of the U.S. instead of everything else that's going on in the world. I'm pretty sure there's more important things to be worried about. There are significantly more important than shit like this. You feel me?
Sort of backdoor access to these social media sites, these big tech sites, and that could spell very bad for a lot of civilians out there. I think that people don't realize how much of an intrusion on your liberties this just is. Apple and other companies have gone through great lengths to protect you in different legal cases, historically speaking. Like, if you do a crime and you end up dead, or you know your iPhone is locked, or whatever the case may be, the government does not have the right to...
Oh snap. If you record GTA 6 content, when GTA 6 come out, it's raps. It's literally SOL. And not just that, so many people were about to make so much money when GTA 6 dropped. I'm telling you, like, this wasn't in place, because you gotta keep in mind, right, like, kids play GTA. I don't care what age you may think they are, kids play GTA. Tons of kids, especially playing GTA 5 and all that. So it's a lot of conflict that's gonna be involved for sure.
Access that iPhone just because you're under arrest. But with this, there's going to be some sort of sneaky maneuvering that takes place, and ultimately they will have access to your personal effects. Now what they do with that, I don't know, and I really don't care. I just don't want my personal effects being subject to my governor or my mayor or, you know, my president's, you know, peeping eyes. Companies like Apple, Meta, and even Pornhub have come up with some sort of creative solutions to help remedy the situation, saying that, hey, you can do ID verification at the phone level in order to, you know, create a system that identifies users and be a different way of doing things like that. But these governmental agencies are saying no, that we're not doing that. And I know some of you are just like Azim Gold saying, well, Omar, at some point real ID verification for the internet was going to be inevitable, like it was going to have to happen. But I agree with Dota and others on the internet saying that it does not have to be like this. You didn't have to go about it these ways. There's other ways to protect the kids on the internet, as opposed to making the entirety of the world have to verify their existence on the internet. This is just an overstep, just plain and simple. There is no way to say it any plainly. This is just an overstep. And we haven't talked about it yet, but where are the parents' accountability in all of this conversation? Like, I shouldn't have my civil liberties, you shouldn't have your civil liberties infringed on for the protection of children. And I keep putting quotation marks on protection of children, because this isn't even really protection. People are already discovering in real time workarounds for this problem and still backdoor ways to access the site. And it's not like they're doing some cracking the code type thing. This is just a simple way to give a nuisance to the general public so that they have to give up access to their data in order for people to consume the content or whatever the case may be. I think another thing that's not being noted in this conversation is that this is an act of censorship. Just full stop. We're all about free speech. We're all about, you know, sharing ideas. We're all about connecting as a community. But is it that the kids were on the app seeing these bad and nasty things, twerk videos, bad ads, or is it that they were getting educated in real time about events and you can no longer skew a narrative as a governmental agency? Which one is it? Which one is it? Because that's the adverse side effect of these things. No longer can I access Twitter as a youth or TikTok as a youth or YouTube as a youth and learn about what's really going on 2 states over. No. I just can't do that anymore. So now we're back to basically the 1950s where I have to watch the news with my mom and dad, or I have to, I don't know, read it in a newspaper. We've regressed in less time than it took for us to progress when it came to sharing news and information and being educated as a youth. There's potentially some good to come out of this. I think that the personalized ads being blocked for kids is, you know, a good thing. And I do think that even though this is not my true beliefs from the government, because this would be the one time they decided to protect kids, protecting kids from seeing things like pornography is a good thing. Thumbs up there. But overall, creating this surveillance state across the board for any and everybody who's consuming content, no matter the age, no matter the race, demographic, whatever the case may be, that is totally bad. And then on top of that, you being censored from your words to another person is bad. This could also and will also affect those who create content like myself, because I'm pretty sure advertisers are going to look and say, well, dang, this kind of is stunted now over here, so maybe we should take our advertising dollars away from this platform and try to think of something creatively different. That in and of itself is bad. All of these things are bad.
It's just another form of control, bro. They really trying to make it harder and harder for content creators in general, bro, because we ain't subject to like the regular norms and rules, you feel me? Like, we not subject to that. Like, they can sit here and try to hide it under the like protection of children and all that, but like, we know what's going on for real. All I gotta say is, don't let nothing stop you from getting your bag, bro. Do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And like he said, it's gonna be another way to backdoor it. Find another way. You know what I'm saying? But like the video, subscribe, and I'm out, y'all.
Ain't never seen tears from a gangster, so why the world want me to cry? Fighting depression, talk to the spirits, use them judges that help me get by. But I cannot lie, that she hurt me bad when I got that car, told me you died. Like how the fuck can they take you? Man, I hope I wake up, it's a lie. Couldn't walk to that hearse car, I remember the words and I remember the look in your eyes.